Gold Coast Supreme Court case between Achim Apapem and Achim Apega. The respective chiefs are here. The Kotoku people secretly came to Adoagyiri and installed him as chief. Their roots of title and ownership and claim of ownership, alleged claim of ownership of Adoagyiri, only dates back to 15 years. We have records here dating as far back as 150 years. 150 years. Every successive chief of Adoagyiri, I can show you, Adoagyiri falls under the Adontin division. There are state council deliberations which shows, recorded, successive chiefs of Adoagyiri coming and attending with their elders. As a matter of fact, if you just excuse me, we also, in this palace, in fact, just recent times, next 1975, if you look at it, the place marked, the then chief of Adoagyiri was paid from this house 480 Ghana cedis at the time, 1975. And these are a lot of them, PVs. So we challenge the people of Kotoku to also present a counter argument that evidence their so-called bogus claim of ownership of Adoagyiri lands. On the blunt side of the Traditional Council, the matter went before the Kotoku Traditional Council, the Judicial Committee, or the Kotoku Traditional Council. The family of Burma Dukoko was served with the process. They declined jurisdiction. They challenged the jurisdiction of the Kotoku Traditional Council to adjudicate on the matter bordering on the cause or matter affecting chieftaincy on Adoagyiri land because they did not recognize the Kotoku people as the allodial owners of Adoagyiri. The Judicial Committee of the Kotoku Traditional Council, in spite of this, went ahead to give judgment against the legitimate accredited royal family, the Jumana royal family of the deceased Burma Dukoko. They challenged the matter before the Regional House of Chiefs. Now, it is interesting. The Regional House of Chiefs, when the matter came before them, didn't go into the substantive matter. All they did was to say that the appellants who had come before them were statute barred because they did not appear before them on time. Yeah. So there was statute limitation. In their words, the case should have been filed on the 26th of December 2007. Indeed, they filed the appeal in January. So the Judicial Committee made a decision that the appellants were statute barred. The appellants currently have appealed before the National House of Chiefs. Now, it's interesting. We have a right to make a claim of ownership of Adoagyiri land. We were not parties to the matter that came before the Kotoku Traditional Council. Neither were we part of the matter that came before the Judicial Committee or the Regional House of Chiefs. And I do not know whether a matter bordering on our interests can be adjudged on, or any court can assume jurisdiction over a matter that borders on the interests of Achim Ebuakwa without Achim Ebuakwa participating in the said matter. So we do not recognize the judgment of the Kotoku Traditional Council. Neither do we also recognize the judgment of the Regional House of Chiefs. And that is why we are saying that we are vested with the customary right to install a chief at Adoagyiri, and that in due course we will do so.
So do you say
the Judicial Committee of the Kotoku Traditional Council was bereft of jurisdiction because they have no right in law or custom to adjudicate on a matter that involves a chieftaincy dispute on Achim Ebuakwa land? That is the point we're making. As a matter of fact, the brochure, we have it here. Yes, and if you look at it, this is produced by the so-called Okwanajo, tracing the history of Adoagyiri. And as I've indicated, he said the land here belonged to Apapem of Ebuakwa. This is their own brochure. Achim Kotoku has long-standing chieftaincy dispute, and as the three